I went to a technical college in a city, and I was assigned a roommate. ZZ was 22 meters when I met him. I was 18 meters fresh out of high school. From the first day we met each other, we knew we would be friends for life. He was a funny guy, liked the same things I did, and had the same major that I had. Quickly after meeting Z, he introduced me to his GFLZ. And Elle had been dating for like a year or less, and I noticed right away that she was very, very clingy. Elle demanded that Z be on FaceTime with her all the time, even if they weren't actively talking. A couple weeks after I met Z, it became evident to me that Z was sick of Elle's controlling and demanding behavior. Our local sports team won a championship, so I gave Z a replica championship ring, since he liked the team, and Elle immediately got jealous and demanded that she receive the ring instead of him. I tell these small stories so that you, the reader, has an understanding of how strange their relationship dynamic was. One day while I'm watching a football game with Z, I see him scrolling through Tinder. I said, "Dude, what are you doing? You have a girlfriend?" He said, "Yeah, I know. I just liked fucking with other girls on Tinder." At that moment, I knew I had a choice to make. I knew that the right thing to do was to tell him to stop being a piece of shit. Initially, I wanted him to recognize that he needed to break up with Elle before he started flirting and sexting other women. While I was having these thoughts, I thought to myself, well, Elle does treat Z like complete ass, and that slowly turned into asterisk. Hi, Elle. Let Z cheat on Elle just because Elle is a bad person and a shit G. If Z ever dates someone kind, I'll never allow this kind of behavior from a close friend asterisk. So that was that. I said, "Whatever, dude," and I did unblink twice when I knew he was actively cheating on his GF. A couple times he would bring some other college-aged girl back to our dorm suite, and he would make out and do or have sex with them. Eventually, Elle found out and wanted to make it work. Z obviously didn't want to make things work, so he had Elle's father come get the stuff she still had at our dorm suite. I haven't seen or heard about Elle ever since then. This is where the story switches directions entirely. My ride-or-die best friend in the world is JJ, and I are the same age, and I've ever been best friends with him since we were very young. One weekend I invite Jay to stay at my dorm with myself and Z. They hit it off perfectly. Z, Jay, and I quickly realized that the three of us were inseparable best friends. We all spend the weekend drinking, partying, and learning about each other's lives. Jay tells Z about his GFN and how they've been together for years. Z is impressed because he is 4 years older than us, and both Jay and I had active long-term relationships. Eventually, of course, Jay had to go back home and Z and I continued to do our fun college life. All three of us would play video games every night, eat at bars together, and just talk on Discord for hours. Well, a couple years pass. COVID hits, I move back home with my parents, I graduate college, I get a full-time job, etc. Jay, ZA, and I are all still inseparable. We talk about sports all the time and message each other daily with jokes and such. One day Jay needed help moving out his old apartment and into a new one. He asked me to help, but I wasn't in town, so Z ended up going over there to help him. Jay and N, his girlfriend, were at Jay's place packing and such. Jay had an envelope with $800 cash on his counter for his payment for the newer apartment. Z, Jay, and N all start packing and organizing. And a couple hours later, Jay notices the $800 envelope is gone. He starts to have a mini panic attack and starts to unpack everything he had packed previously. Long story short, they couldn't find the money. Jay has always been a forgetful person, so honestly I figured he had thrown it away on accident when cleaning up all the other trash he had to throw out. During his panic attack, Jay pops off on N. He says that she threw his money away and that it is all her fault for not paying attention. Z left a message to me saying that he had never seen that side of Jay before and didn't like it very much. Fast forward to a year ago, N sends me a 2,400-word text message. I'm dead serious about how abusive and awful Jay is. Keep in mind I've known Jay my whole life. He's definitely not abusive. N decided to move out of Jay's apartment without warning. Then Jay comes home from work to find his apartment looking like it just got robbed. TV missing, sheets and pillows missing, Ziploc bags missing, food missing, you name it. Anne blocked myself and Jay from everything. We couldn't contact her. In an attempt to get some of Jay's stuff back, I asked Zhao to reach out to Ian and try to get his stuff. It worked, and about a week later Z and I pull up to Anne's parents' house and retrieve the stuff she stole from Jay. That was the end of it. So I thought Jay goes absolutely manic for about a month. Jay's mother abandoned him as a child, and Jay and Ann had been dating for over 5 years, so Jay was extremely triggered. He would make rash decisions, make things up, and just overall paranoia. He began telling me that he thinks Z's having sex with N behind our backs. I was offended. I said Z would never do that. We're his best friends. I sent Z a message and just asked him why Jay would have that idea, and he said I have no clue why he would think that. I only met her family when you and I went to pick up Jay's stuff. Z had no history of lying to me, so I told him thank you for being honest with me. About 6 months ago, while I'm driving home from work, I get a phone call from Jay. He starts yelling. I knew I was right. I told you, and nitrogen monoxide. One believed me. I was like, Here we go again. Jay thinks Z slept with N, even though Z told me he didn't. Then out of nowhere, a call from Z. Comes in, My gut turns. I picked up the call, and with a hesitant voice, Z says, Hey bud, I just wanted to call you so you would hear it from me before anyone else. I lied to you for months. I lied to everyone. I did have sex with N, and we are close to dating. The heart wants what the heart wants. I told him that I no longer trusted him and that this was a massive violation of our friendship. I told him I'm not sure when I would speak to him again, but that I appreciated all the good memories we shared. I hung up and I haven't talked to Z since. I called Jay back and I apologized over and over again. I apologized for not believing him when he told me he was suspicious of Z. I apologize for introducing him to Z. It has been incredibly hard to lose a best friend like that. Someone I introduced to my extended family as a lifelong friend. Part of me thinks that if I never encouraged him to cheat on L, that he wouldn't have ended our friendship by hooking up with N. Sorry for the rant. I hope you enjoyed my story.